Welcome back, viewers. We've now been joined by engineer Toba Owojaiye to help us analyze on some of the headlines we've just read out to you. And this is also the segment where our phone lines are now open for you to call in and make your contributions known as the program progresses. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome once again to the studio. Thank you. You too.
I like the brooch.
I like the attire. I told you immediately you came in. I don't know, something about navy blue.
Thank you.
Kind of stands out. Well, how are you doing today?
Apart from the fuel crisis, I'm fine.
I know we have to start from there.
Yes,
we just have to start from there because it's an experience that all of us have been going through in Nigeria. It's really biting. And, you know, there are conversations that we still need 2 more. We're still going to face this for 2 more weeks, which means that after this week, we're still going to look at it even in the month of May. I was thinking maybe we could just pack all of this and go with April, since today is the last day of April, but it may seem as though it's even going to spin into May and an extra week in May. And then there are conversations that some of the reasons why this scarcity is happening is not because there's not enough fuel, but it's because of the delay in the renewal of licenses of oil marketers. What's your take on that?
You see, many of them have run sway with whatever they wanted to do. Generally, the government should have done this months earlier. They're trying to sanitize the licensing process, and the marketers, they have themselves, so that you don't have people whose affinity or loyalty is with their pocket, not the people. So, but they should have done this. They should have known that what you're dealing with is still a cabal. If you delay them too much, you have a fuel crisis. Once you have a fuel crisis, the masses will start biting you. For whatever reason you have a fuel crisis, it is not good. That's what you should be your standpoint as a politician. For whatever reason there's a fuel crisis, the masses will come for your necks. So that's not good enough. They should have been able to ensure that the marketers that they wanted were already in, had already gotten enough fuel, and then you can now start choosing who is good to go, who is bad, who is all of that. But that's poor, because people are going to suffer. We're going to have another slight inflation. I'm saying 2 weeks is what will lead to the inflation. If people had an idea that this will be over in 1 week, then people may not adjust their prices. In
fact, right now, we see some persons saying they're buying as high as 900 to 1,500. Look at this particular headline. It says petrol hits 800 naira as 240 million litre vessel arrive. And they say 5 tanker vessels offloading PMS at Lagos ports. Independent marketers sell over 800 naira per litre. Black marketers charge 1,200 naira per litre. And then motorists groan, commuters lament rising transport fare. And then on Daily Sun, it says fuel sales between 900 to 1,500 naira per litre. Transport triple, road deserted, businesses short. In this kind of times, we're already complaining that
yes, it's just
life is hard, things are high, dollar is here, fuel is here, electricity hike is here, and now queues, price hike in fuel. Most stations already, you know, hoarding their fuel, and they are putting it just all on NMDPRA. They've not issued enough licenses. About 15,000 oil marketers and just 1,050 have been able to renew their licenses.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. You want to sanitize the system, but remember that the people you are working for, which is the masses, are not the most aware of many of these things. They just want to live their life.
Sure.
They just want to live their life, want to wake up, do their work, sleep with light, wake up, go to work with good fuel, come back, enjoy their life. People just want a good life. They're not looking for the deep end reason to how you want to do this. So this is not good for Tinubu's government, and I expect whoever was in charge of that licensing and delayed it this long, head should roll. So when you take it that seriously, so that you don't start witch hunting. This is what we get when people start claiming, okay, the reason why we have this problem is because I wanted to solve this problem. No, it's not good. When 1 or 2 heads roll, any other person who wants to solve a problem will make sure he doesn't create another one. And that's what you get. So.
And another set of people are also saying the petrol, they're saying their challenge is that they do not have access to the products. There's also the complaint of no access. And NNPCL is saying we have more than enough to go around.
License. Because without the license, you can't pick the product. It's a system. It's not like you just go and it's automated. There's a system. So without the license, you're not even showing on the system to be able to be awarded the fuel. So I expect them to not go home. Every staff in that office should remain in that office until they give license to 300 people today. They should sleep in that office. They should not bath. They should sleep. 300.
Well, talking about 15,000.
For a start,
maybe they should give license to 4,000 people or 5,000. That would suffice.
We'll get back into the problem we're trying to solve. If 150 is able to still is what we have this number.
1,050.
1,050.
And we have this scarcity. 300 will not make so much difference across the nation.
And, okay,
that means how many per state?
Yeah, but you see, this is what I'm saying. At least give 300, 500 today. I'm not talking of 10 days time.
Per region.
That the license comes out today. Because this licensing process is not as easy, but everybody sticks to his work, everybody sits in his office. Even if it's 10 p.m., be on it. Even if it's 2 a.m., be on it. This is a crisis. Because if people hit the streets, this is going to be something else. You don't want that.
You know, I'm just surprised that in a time like this, when we are all very sensitive to everything, there's a time when some little errors, glitches, you know, can be leading to almost putting the nation on a standstill.
You see, when the president had that, the protest that started shooting up because of rising food costs, he had to immediately release grains here, do this, because you don't want protests now. Things are already bad. During the IBB coup, he was asked, why didn't you do the coup earlier? He said something that shocked me. He said, the people were not angry enough.
Wow.
The time we could have struck on it, the people were not angry enough, so we had to wait longer. So one of the greatest indices for an uprising is the people angry, and the people are angry. So the president shouldn't play with this. This is not something to play with. This is something to nip in the bud, to go and sleep. I don't mind the chief of staff, Minister of Petroleum. Everybody needs to be on this. This is not a joke.
Is the president as the Minister of Petroleum? Is he not the one that is handling petroleum? Except you're saying Minister of State for Petroleum.
Yeah, he shared the position to two other petroleum and gas.
Okay, so let's move on to this headline on the paper that says Forex crisis. Court okays EFCC's request to freeze 1,146 accounts. You know, there have been conversations around the fact that there are sabotages against the economy, and especially in the place of Forex and the dwindling of the currency. What's your take on that?
Of course, Nigerians as a people are capitalists. Within Nigeria, abroad, anywhere we find ourselves, we explore or exploit the system. This is Nigerians for you. That's why a Nigerian can get to South Africa and immediately he sees or she sees the business opportunities there, while the people there are still sleeping on it. A Nigerian goes to USA, immediately sees something he can do, something that gets him something. That's our nature. Okay, so Forex made it easier to do most of these things, where you can just sit down, get a license, open a bureau de change, and every week, based on connection, somebody is dropping you $100,000 US every week. So you're making enough money in the process, but they need to freeze the account. I'm grateful they are going through the courts now, because anything you do, only the court has the right to freeze an account. Even the bank doesn't have a right to freeze an account. It's the court that can give you an order to freeze an account. So EFCC is playing by the rules. I'm sure because of they were burnt a little by the Aya Bello case last week by not playing by the rules. So they are backtracking to reduce the emotion. But what the people like to is to hear the emotion. But the emotion will not solve the problem.
Exactly.
So they're backtracking to now, okay, this is what we should do first. This is what we should do first before it releases to the media. So this is good. But they should make sure they are freezing the right accounts. If it's not the right accounts, they should unfreeze it as soon as it's and apologize for it, so you don't have another case. Because
you mentioned EFCC Yaya Bello's case. You know, there's been conversations that there's a clash between the EFCC protesters and the pro Yaya Bello protesters. Now, this is a conversation of a case of this is what you did while you were state governor, this is what you did with the funds from the state, an allegation, then it is expected that you come out and respond to those allegations. In fact, we have former governor of Benue State, Otom, also telling him, come out and come and face the case.
It's a very simple thing.
Thank you. But we have some persons protesting in defense of the ex-governor. Now, there are arguments on the streets that if he was a common man who was found, for an alleged case, not even, alleged. I think I saw a particular, I think I read a particular story yesterday, a man that was accused of stealing bags of cement, threw himself in the lagoon yesterday, committed suicide. A common man. So if he was a common man, would people come out and protest in defense of that person? Nobody came out to protest that was just an allegation and people made the man kill himself. But because this person is a known figure in the society, people are protesting. What do we want?
You see, Nigeria, we are ethnical. We have strong bias. We don't like you to prosecute our thief. This is Nigeria. If he is from my place, then when you bring up the matter, I will say, what of the other thief from your own place? Or what of the other thief from your own religion or from your own party? We always find a very fast route to find a reason not to allow justice take its course. And that is why Nigeria has been having these issues of going down and down on this matter. If he has a case to answer, his people should bring him forth. Instead of organizing protests, then EFCC starts organizing, gets their own people to protest. EFCC shouldn't be protesting anything, and nobody should be protesting on behalf of
protesting on their behalf.
On behalf of EFCC. Because once you start having protesters, we know this has become a political battle. Protesters don't just wake up, feed themselves, and go and protest. People pay them. People, they are already known faces. These are people, it is their job to protest. You can pay them. If you give me 5 million, I can get you 100 people to protest in 2 hours. So this is a job. We know their faces. They are already known faces. We know where they stay. We know where they sleep. We have their numbers. So once we see them, we know this is a paid job. You get? So this is my point. Come and face it. Many people have been to EFCC. Wiki has been to EFCC. FARC has been to EFCC. FFK have been to EFCC. What is the issue? Go there, answer your case. Before 3-4 days, they will give you a bail. They give you a bail. It now becomes a full legal process. All right, let's start with this. School has already started refunding monies.
Yeah,
already.
We heard that.
Yeah, so face your case.
All right. Sometimes I wonder, where does the law take its course here? Because it looks like maybe our justice system truly needs a total overhaul, because I was expecting that if an allegation of this amount is already on ground, why haven't there been a formal arrest? At least you don't have to keep waiting for the person that, come out of your hiding. Because if it was a common man that anything you've brought an allegation against, somebody would have gone to pick them up in their homes. And now the governor is now an ex-governor, so no more immunity. So why is that nothing has been done yet? Let's quickly take this call before you answer that question. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kim.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for joining us on the program.
Yeah, hello to your analyst there.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Is it Babajide or Olamide? Sorry.
Olamide Alhassan.
Okay, sorry, Olamide Alhassan. Yes, exactly. It's more or less like you stole my question.
Oh.
The question I was about to ask anyway, but all the same. But one thing I just look at is that, see, in any country where rule of law is not effective, it will just be a kind of merry-go-round. Same story every day. Even the so-called modernized democracy, which is United States of America, I'm not talking about Greece, that is originated from. They have shown us truly that democracy can only be in the script, but in practice is nothing. So the whole entire world is in chaos, is in crisis. That's just a fact. We are just deceiving ourselves around the world, And now let me narrow it down to Nigeria. Now, the thing now, my question now to analysts is this. An idiotic or stupid question probably. Okay, let's say from 1999, let us say even 1999, since democracy came to Nigeria, to date, Nigeria has been borrowing money, right? Okay, and we call our legislators and other things honorables. So we want to really know whether they are honorables and other, even part of the executive. I want to group all of them as honorables. So let them prove to us that they are honorables. So all this money that are being borrowed to this very point, at least an honorable person should be able to bring a book of accounts or records to every to analyze that this is how it is used, this is how it is used, and those ones that were alleged that they stolen the money, at least they should not be running away from just coming to answer a question. So you see, we are just deceiving ourselves. Tomorrow now, if Tinubu finish his 8 years or 4 years first, if eventually for the 4 years, because we know the pattern. So if he finishes that, another one will come with another story. Look, I love Nigeria, but the truth is that we are completely deceiving ourselves. That's why I make a reference to the United States of America. The world don't like the truth today. We like to punish and decorate the fake things and make it look like real. So, and then there are things that is helping all this to happen. That self-interest of different groups, like your analyst said. If it is from my tribal, religious side or whatever, we will not want that person to be prosecuted. And even if it's not the interest of these people from that place, those ones involved in that crisis will want to employ that thing. Right. So see, may God just help Nigeria. See, it's just a matter of miracle. Well, see, the truth is that the world itself is in entirely chaos. God save the whole world.
Amen.
God bless KAFTAN. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
God bless you too. Thank you so much, Mr. Akim from Lagos. He's said a lot.
Yes.
Joe, I want you to unbundle what he said alongside my question for the place of, the rule of law.
See, the first thing is we need to have a separate court. By constitution, we need to have laws, bills that are passed that give us a separate court that can expedite these matters. You see, once justice is delayed, justice is denied. Don't delay. The more you are able to drag a case for 4, 5, 10 years, the more every other person who is in that situation doesn't take it seriously. The more the person feels he can get away with it. Now, this is an issue in which they went to a house. He came into Abuja. They went to a house to pick him up, and they couldn't pick him up from the house. Because I'm telling you, this is not somebody without boys. I'm not talking about 20 boys. I'm talking about over 30 boys that are willing to die. So you now weigh the situation of things. What do you do? And then while you are waiting to weigh things, what are we going to do? It has leaked to the press. That's part of why I blame them and letting press get information. Mainly gets to the press.
No, who are you blaming now for letting press get to know?
No, I'm just saying it's an issue. Press is everywhere.
Because sometimes some of these protesters are the ones that call on the press.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we also got a distress call, like, come, this is happening. I'm just telling you.
And the press also needs news. So this is a whole feeding of the system. That's what I'm saying. So you now have the governor come, and remember that the governor has immunity. So wherever the governor is, like his car, when he is driving, he cannot be searched. So the governor appears to the scene, whisks away his ex-governor who gave him the seat, and disappears with him. Now, on the national scale, you'll be angry with the governor. But I can assure you that in Ibira land, they are happy with the governor. The House of Assembly has told EFCC to back off from their ex-governor. The House of Assembly of that state. So what we're saying is that the system is pandering to it to support it. EFCC wanted to use the option of the military. And if they use that, that's going to be a bloodbath.
True.
But you see, if you use that, there's no constitution backing the EFCC to use the military. So it's going back to constitution, going back to our laws. Our laws have to make conditions of this at this point. When it gets to this point, the EFCC can use the military to enforce a court order. So these are things that needs to be adjusted along the line. But
there's been calls for a new constitution, because they said our constitution has been short-sighted, because there are lots of angles that still needs to be worked on. But the reps are saying they will only go ahead and do the amendments as usual. What's your take?
I think the result is supposed to be out maybe next week. They have been on it for a while. There's a committee on it. I'm not really expecting much, to be honest. Because
why are you not expecting much? Because these people are supposed to be representatives of the common man, so which means that they should have the voice of the common man, and they do not even belong to one party. They are from various parties. So why should they even be speaking the same language already?
Because have you been to their offices are next to each other. Everybody's
It doesn't mean
office. I'm just saying,
you don't know the
everybody's
reason why
office is
you
next
got
to
your
each
office.
other. Everybody hangs out with everybody. It's like you go to a bar and you have Man U fans, Manchester fans, Man City fans, but everybody's paying for their drinks. Everybody's buying drinks for everybody. So at elections, senators are different. But in running governance, senators are one. Forget about party when it comes to senators. So how am I going to amend what will remove me from this position? That's what you should be looking at. Am I that honest? If not, we should be talking about having one party, one legislative system. We should either kick out Senate or kick out House of Reps. But can you say these House of Rep members should agree to kick out House of Reps, or the senators should agree to kick out the Senate? These are the things we are saying. People benefiting from the system can have a bias to really look into what needs to be done. So this should be done more as
especially
a confirm.
calls that the seats should be timed,
that
not like
people who
becomes your personal property.
Stakeholders, civil society organizations, people who have nothing to benefit apart from what the nation has to benefit. These are people that should make recommendations, and then the Senate and others look at it and pass a vote on it. Then we know where each senator stands on this matter and what we voted, so that we can know whether to kick you out or bring you back. But expecting them to just do these amends, I'm not expecting much, to be honest.
I'm wondering where the hope of the common man is, if the people we're supposed to be looking up to are the ones that are actually making or creating the plenty drama and blunders, looking at the same Abelu's case and this case of no justice today, no justice tomorrow, justice denied is justice delayed is justice denied.
If you empower the constitution today now for the EFCC to be able to use the military to enforce an arrest, you may be the one in 4 years' time.
Indeed. Now let's go to the electricity tariff hike. Now there's been conversations. The Minister of the Minister of Power is saying that they need $10 billion for the next 10 years to be able to steady electricity supply. So that's the reason for the hike in price. But there are conversations that this should not have happened, except for the fact that according to the Electricity Act, it should not have happened until you must have, had a conversation with the general public. And you cannot even hike price until you have been able to provide steady supply of that electricity. But they didn't do that. They just went ahead and increased price. And it's giving some sort of discriminatory act. When some people pay more or some people use more power than some people in a country where we're supposed to be one and seen as one. But some persons get to enjoy better electricity supply, some persons do not get to even have at all, and some persons get to pay higher and some persons get to pay lower according to region. In fact, I think there was a particular time that I got to speak with someone from Lagos, and for example, the price of their electricity tariff compared to Abuja is different. If you're buying worth of 1,000 naira, you get some 24 kilowatts per hour or thereabouts, and then if you're buying in Abuja, you probably be getting like 14 or so. But there's a disparity. I think 28 to 14.
Yes.
There's a disparity in price. But we're all in the same country, facing the same thing. So why should some persons be having difference? And is that even right?
So you see, these are the injustices that this country sits on, and the scale of justice always tips. They say when the scale of justice tips, people fall off. Number one, the law has been passed now, you can generate power. If I was the president, the first thing I would do is to assure every state of power for only 2 years. After 2 years, I will cut off every single state from the national grid. Go and solve your power problems. See, there's business around power. Abia has proved it. There's business around power. Make it commercial. Make it something that is consistent, commercial. Industries will move there. I saw an analysis. Kano State, if they begin to generate their own power, will make 46 billion naira monthly as profit. But they will need only 200 billion to invest into that to begin to make that. But you see, it's the laziness of our system that somebody generates power somewhere and Nigeria makes that person have to share that power he has generated with other states generating nothing. I talked with a friend of mine that works in Kaduna, and he told me that the rate in Kaduna that generates power is less than the other northern states that they give power to. I said, why? He says because those ones can't afford to pay the same rate. I said, so these are the injustices. These are the things we need to fix. Let individuals, let businesses come into the power sector. Let us see different people generate power in different places. This should not even be a government forte to start with. This is power. Tanzania had too much power some days ago. They had to shut down some systems. It happens. For heaven's sake, this is we are going through this thing over and over again. But we are glad we are seeing some signs. We are seeing some companies coming in, make it that anybody can come and set up a business and supply power in a place, make profit from it, and pay its taxes. Once states understand this, they can use solar, they can use different things and make money out of it. I don't understand. We are sleeping. We are sleeping on the money, and then we are also generating a problem from sleeping.
And maybe we love to face other controversial issues and face other things rather than the most important things. Anyway, let's quickly take another story because of our time. Now, something remarkable happened in Edo State yesterday. Now, Edo workers hailed Obaseki for 70,000 naira minimum wage. He used to be the highest paying. In fact, now he's still maintaining that rank of being the highest paying minimum wage state, which is Edo State, from 40,000 to 70,000. That's about almost 90% increment. For just how many months more to stay, you know, as governor in the administration? Just how many months more? And then somebody else is coming in. Whoever comes in, whoever wins the ticket eventually, whoever wins the seat rather eventually. But let's talk about, how do you think this is like a trap for the next administration?
First of all, I want to hail Governor Obaseki.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's the way to go. Whoever comes in should know whether he can pay it or not. If you cannot pay it,
so what happens?
Stay out of the race. Leave those who can pay it.
Okay.
See, I don't know how you cope in your house, but I'm not an elite. I'm a very, very masses person. But I spent 20,000 yesterday. I'm just small. So I don't even see how 70,000 can really save a family for a month. So it's tough, let's be honest. Yes, this is different from, you were here when I shouted that NLC was asking for 479,000 for staff. That is outrageous, that is impossible, that will never happen. But 70 is something that sounds reasonable. This tells me this governor sat down to think about it. To look at, okay, what can somebody survive on? But and not be a thief.
I beg to
I not want to steal from me I don't want to steal from the system. You see, because one of the problems, I worked in the bank. One of the first things, the bank hires the best, the bank pays the best, and the bank prevents the best from stealing. So if somebody is poorly paid, I saw a payment slip of a local government staff, 5,894 naira was what that person went home with. Now, if that person has the chance to sit on a file for 1 month, for the owner of the file to give him 15,000, he's going to sit on 100 files. It's going to kill the speed of progress, because his 5,000 cannot pay his bills.
Those were his arguments, actually. He said, if you pay your staff well, they do better on the job. But now, there are also other conversations on the streets, on the virtual streets, that he's preparing the way for his supposed anointed candidates, because this way people will be worried. What if another party or whatever comes in and they are not in tune with this particular line? That means they may want to reverse this payment. Like you said, he said if the next person comes in that they cannot sustain it, they may want to reverse it. So it is looking like a pathway, like preparing the way for the successor.
Well,
what do you make of it?
I can remember when Osibanjo was sharing trader money pre-elections for APC. So if trader money was good then, I don't see why increment of staff pay. And this is a minimum wage we've been crying for. Let's always remember that. This is not something that nothing has been said about it for the whole year, and someone just comes up before election to play a game. This is something people have been crying for.
Sure.
If every state can pay 50, 70, it will go a long way. Let's not call it to lead to an inflation. If the states keep generating revenue and doing well, and people steal less and face their work, if I'm paying you 70K, you will be in that office.
Absolutely.
You will be in that office. I give you 2 queries and you're gone.
Sure.
But if you are being paid 5,000 or 14,000, who is going to query you? These are the give and takes of this. It's a good move by him. Other governors should copy, emulate him. They should move up to 50. And
congratulations to the people of Edo State.
Congratulations to the people of Edo State.
All right, so let's take some of our social media stories that are also present on our national dailies.
Okay.
We have 1.4 million UTME candidates scored below 200 in JAMB. What do you think? Okay, we have 1.4 million scored below 200. And then we have 8,400 score above 300.
Yes.
For a population of 1.8 million, 400 and something figures. Let's just say approximately
1.84.
Yes. Maybe. So, and then what do you make of this? Do you think our children, teenagers, are a bit distracted of some sort? Because why will 1.4 million people score below 200 when the pass mark for most universities is 200?
Yes, so there are like 4 takeaways from this.
Okay.
Number 1, we have about 8,400 students that are very good. I wrote JAMB, I scored 238. So I respect anybody that scored above that, because it's not easy to score above 238. That's my experience. So I'm talking from my experience. And so that shows that a lot of students did well, so we can have better students in the future. But that also tells us that a lot of students are playing.
Because this is a generation that we look up to and we tell ourselves these ones are extraordinary geniuses. So why would we have them score less than 200?
Yeah, first of all, there's less corruption in JAMB now, because it's a CBT thing. There's no way you can get an expo to bail you out on a CBT test.
Yeah.
Yes, so that goes a long way to sanitizing the system and ensuring that the results are genuine results. So if we have genuinely that 400,000 people can make it into universities, remember that some states will still give for those who scored 180, 185 and above for catchment areas, people from their states. By the time you add, and I can assure you that out of that 1.4 million, I can assure you that another 400,000 will fall within those who scored 180 to 200. So it's not really bad for admissions. it just makes us know that we have some good ones that are doing well, the other ones that can make it in, and those who will make it in on quota system in their states and parliaments. But they also still have university JAMB tests to write.
Yes.
So that would tell us if they're serious. But this, I agree that this generation is the most distracted by TikTok, WhatsApp, skit making. The greatest way to get followers now online is to do a comedy skit or a prank. So that's
or just trend for the wrong reason.
So those are warning signs we should.
But how do we mitigate this? How do we get them back on track?
By them failing. You fail this year, next year you are going to...
so we just let them fail?
No, we didn't let them fail. We put a standard. Now that's why there must be standards.
Okay.
You miss the standard, you fail. You fail, you learn. You learn, you find out what distracted you, and you cut away from it. Some of us did very poorly. There was a point I was scoring 26 in my class, and my mom threatened, who was the proprietor of the school, threatened to drop me and send me back to repeat one class. The next time I scored 5th. So it's not, we shouldn't just pet and pamper people forever. The next term I scored 5th from 26th. So it's not always about petting people and okay, let's find a way to make it easier for them. No, let's have a standard and let them come and meet the standard and top it.
So practically parents and instructors have a lot to do in this case. All right, so let's go to our second story, which is of Finidi George. He's now the head coach of the Super Eagles. What do you make of that? Some people say, well, people do not, Gen Z will not understand Finidi George, the excitement that comes from Finidi George being the head coach. But I want to get your opinion on him.
Yes, he's a good veteran. He's won the Champions League with Ajax. He did very well. He was a wonderful midfielder. Sorry, right winger, number 7. He's played at the toppest level. And he's been around, so we expect him to do good. There's no major tournament immediately, so let's see how he gels with the boys, because that's another issue. You see, there's a technical aspect and there's the aspect of gelling with the boys. If you gel with the boys and you don't have to bribe or collect bribe from the boys. The last coach, we were hearing rumors that the last coach was parting with over 30% of his salary as settlement. So these are the issues. And then we've seen back in the years that some foreign guys just send money to the coach and they get in the team. These are the things we are hoping that a big name like Finidi George will be able to fight and get the best hands on ground. And I think we can do it.
Do you think he can outdo Pesero? There's
no major tournament to prove that, but I think he can outdo Pesero. The boys are good. The boys are good with good funding. You see, my problem sometimes is that when a Nigerian coach is taking, less funding goes into it. Westerhoff said, when it was my time, I'll ask for 30 balls on the pitch at a time. But the time when a Nigerian coach, Amodu, was there, Amodu got only 6 balls. So this is my issue. If you think a Westerhoff deserves to have 30 balls on the pitch per training, why do you think the Nigerian coach can make do with 6 balls? So these are the issues. We shouldn't underrate our coaches. If we give them the job, let's give them the same quality of attention and support like we give the foreign coaches, and let's see what they can do. Okay,
so I want you to help us make sense of when Iguavon was the head coach, looking at Iguavon, looking at Pesero, in projection of what you think will happen with Finidi George.
I'm not optimistic.
Okay.
Because I've not seen him coach a very big team of this level. Yes, but I am happy that a Nigerian coach has been given, because we've left the major tournament. We just have a few qualifiers in front of us, and then let's watch him. I'm sure they will give him a year. They want to see how he can keep in touch with the big players, how he can go around the local leagues and source players, hold 2 separate training camps. This is what I expect him to do. Hold a foreign base camp, hold a local camp, so that you know where you have. Back in the day, you see us play some top teams with bigger players, and then play some African teams with the African home base players, because those guys, they're not afraid to break their leg. But the foreign players, even their coaches don't want them to come to play because they're afraid of them breaking their legs mid-season. So you have both of the teams, and then you sometimes pick from here, and blend. So we're expecting good things from him, but I don't see anything over the top, in my opinion.
So you don't see the reason why people say, we are excited, Gen Z will never understand Finidi George's appearance again as a head coach. You do not see the excitement.
I'm not excited, sorry. I love him. He's good. He's a legend. We've had Amunike, we've had Amokachi, we've had Mutiu Adepoju. I'm calling all the names, old names. We've had Eguavon. All of these guys have had their chance to coach. We've had Stephen Keshi. They all did their job. I don't see what special thing we won. But I believe he's given the chance. He has a chance to prove himself. The team, they should give him the support he needs and the cash he needs, the balls he needs, the opportunities he needs, and let's see what he can do.
They said this one is the Babanla that has come. That's what they said on social media. I didn't say that. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you. Engineer Toba, Owojaiye, Public Affairs Analyst. We really appreciate you for your time today.
It's nice being here.
All right, viewers, that's our cuttings on today's show. Thank you so much for being a part of the show again today. I'll see you tomorrow, and I am Olamide Alhassan. Do enjoy the rest of your day.